In life, many of us grow up with certain ideals and behaviors that we think will help us succeed, particularly in relationships. These ideals, often shaped by family and society, can sometimes lead us down a path where we feel we are doing the right thing, but somehow fail to get the results we hope for. This can be especially true in romantic relationships, where the effort to be kind, attentive, and caring might not always translate into success. Today, I want to talk about what it means to truly build a connection with someone, not just based on polite gestures, but through genuine emotional investment and a sense of balance. The message here is about growth, authenticity, and learning when to challenge the instincts that sometimes lead us astray. Growing up, I was taught to be the quintessential gentleman. My mother instilled in me the importance of buying flowers, paying for meals, opening doors. In short, treating women like princesses. As a teenager, I genuinely believed that doing all these things would make me the kind of person women would want to be with. I wasn't just polite, I went above and beyond. But something strange happened. Instead of being rewarded for my efforts, I often found myself being walked over. I became the guy holding bags while the girl I liked was talking to someone else. Sure, they thought I was nice, but that was the problem. I was nice and nothing more. The reality I faced was that my efforts, though well-intentioned, were not translating into real attraction. I began to realize that what my mother taught me, as loving and noble as it was, didn't fully prepare me for the complexities of human attraction. It wasn't enough to just treat someone well. Something fundamental was missing. I needed to understand that attraction involves a lot more than just being nice. It's about showing a deeper confidence and creating genuine connection, something that requires overcoming certain social fears. When I started reading books about relationships, especially those written for women, I learned something that completely changed my perspective. They said that if someone likes you, they're already making an effort to communicate it. It struck me that I wasn't lacking confidence in other parts of my life. I was driven, I had ambitions, and I felt like I had things going for me. And yet, the fear of directly expressing interest was paralyzing. The thought of walking up to someone and telling them I found them attractive was terrifying. As I began to give relationship advice myself, I realized that men and women both have certain instincts that can hinder them. For men, the instincts to provide and protect can be deeply ingrained, sometimes at the expense of our own needs and desires. These instincts can make us act in ways that seem noble but ultimately do not serve us or our partners. It's a lot like being caught in a riptide. Our instinct is to fight against the current and swim straight to shore. But sometimes, what saves us isn't instinct, it's clarity. It's understanding that to get out of a riptide, you have to swim parallel to the shore first, even if it means taking the longer route. The same applies in relationships. Sometimes, you have to work against instinct to think more clearly and make wiser decisions. One of the biggest lessons I learned was about mutual investment. Many of us get caught up in investing in someone just because we like them, irrespective of whether they're giving us the same energy in return. We think, if I like them this much, it must mean I'm supposed to keep trying. But that's misguided. True connection, the kind that builds lasting relationships, involves two people showing up equally, day after day, ready to build something together. Imagine meeting someone and both of you discovering a beautiful plot of land. The land represents the potential for something amazing, but potential isn't enough. It takes two committed builders laying brick by brick to create a castle. A strong relationship is built by two people who are willing to consistently put in the effort, even during difficult times. However, many people find themselves in a situation where one person is doing all the building, while the other simply admires the view. They get excited about the potential, but don't show up to do the work. They may disappear for weeks, and come back, expecting everything to be fine, unaware of the damage their absence has caused. The truth is, you can't build a castle alone. If you're the only one working on it, it will never become the beautiful, intricate place it could be. A relationship becomes special because two people put in the time and effort to create something unique. A place with secret passageways only they know, where arguments may knock down walls, but the rebuilding makes those walls even stronger. Relationships, I've found, are more about the everyday acts, the trash cans of Disney World, than the big, magical moments like Space Mountain. Sure, the big experiences are memorable, but they are not what you live with every day. You ride Space Mountain once, maybe twice during a trip, but you use the trash cans all day. The small, consistent efforts we make, showing up for each other, caring about the mundane details, are what truly define a relationship. And yet, many of us get stuck mourning the end of something because we only remember the high points, the thrilling rides, rather than seeing the whole picture. I remember going through a breakup that was incredibly painful. I was devastated and couldn't understand why things had ended. Eventually, I worked up the courage to ask my ex what had gone wrong. Her answer was simple. I had become boring. When we first met, she was drawn to my ambition, my drive. I was the most determined person she had ever met. But as our relationship progressed, that was all I seemed to be. I was always working, always talking about my goals, always focused on my business. We never did anything spontaneous, and she felt that our relationship lacked the spark of adventure. She was right. I realized that having one attractive quality, like ambition, isn't enough to sustain a relationship. It might make someone notice you initially, but it won't keep them interested. What I learned from that experience is the importance of unique pairings. It's not just about having one good quality. It's about combining that quality with something else that makes you stand out. Ambition, paired with a sense of fun, confidence with vulnerability, these combinations create a dynamic that keeps a relationship alive. When someone has a unique pairing of traits, they become not just attractive, but irreplaceable. They become the kind of person others fear losing because they know how rare that combination is. Today, there's a sense of entitlement that pervades many relationships. People think that once they find the one, everything should just fall into place effortlessly. But relationships require work, constant effort to keep the connection alive. My partner and I are always trying to find new ways to surprise and excite each other. It's about maintaining both love and desire. Because while love is about closeness and understanding, desire thrives in mystery and distance. To keep that spark alive, you sometimes need to create space. It's counterintuitive, but spending time apart, going on separate adventures, gives you something new to share when you come back together. It reintroduces an element of surprise and unpredictability, which is essential for desire. I've learned that in a healthy relationship, there are times when you need to lean on your partner, and times when you need to stand on your own. We all go through phases where we're insecure, needy, or struggling. It's okay to be those things, but it's also important to show your partner that you're committed to your own growth. You have to put in the work to become the best version of yourself, not just for your partner, but for you. Sometimes, doing something different, even something small, can shift your mindset and open up new possibilities. It could be as simple as changing your daily routine or taking up a new hobby. These small changes can have a big impact on your mental health, your creativity, and your relationship. In relationships, it's also important to understand that growth is not always linear. There will be setbacks, misunderstandings, and moments where things don't seem to work. During these times, it's easy to blame your partner or to feel like something fundamental is wrong. But more often than not, these moments are simply part of the process. They are opportunities to learn more about each other, to deepen your understanding, and to build resilience together. The key is to stay committed to the process, to keep showing up even when things are tough, and to remember why you started building that castle in the first place. Sometimes, growth in a relationship means letting go of the need to always be right. It means choosing peace over being correct, and understanding that winning an argument is not as important as maintaining respect and love for each other. Compromise is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows that you value the relationship more than your ego. The ability to let go of petty grievances and focus on the bigger picture is what allows a relationship to flourish. It's also crucial to celebrate each other's successes and support each other's dreams. A strong relationship is one where both partners feel empowered to pursue their goals, knowing that they have someone cheering them on every step of the way. When your partner succeeds, it's a win for both of you. Their happiness should be your happiness, and vice versa. This kind of support creates a positive feedback loop where both partners feel valued and encouraged to grow. Another important aspect of maintaining a healthy relationship is effective communication. It's not just about talking, it's about listening. Really listening to understand, not just to respond. It's about creating a safe space where both partners feel comfortable expressing their thoughts, feelings, and fears without judgment. Open communication fosters trust, and trust is the foundation of any lasting relationship. When you communicate openly and honestly, you prevent small issues from becoming big problems. You address concerns before they fester and become resentments. In addition to communication, it's important to keep the romance alive. Romance doesn't have to mean grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's the little things that matter. Leaving a note for your partner to find, planning a surprise date, or simply taking the time to remind them how much they mean to you. These small acts of love and appreciation can have a big impact, especially during times when life gets busy and stressful. They serve as reminders of the love you share and the bond you've built together. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but how you handle it makes all the difference. Instead of seeing conflict as a negative, view it as an opportunity for growth. Conflict can help you understand your partner better, reveal areas where you both need to improve, and strengthen your bond. The key is to approach conflicts with empathy and a willingness to understand your partner's perspective. It's about working together to find a solution rather than trying to win the argument. Empathy is at the heart of every successful relationship. It's the ability to put yourself in your partner's shoes, to understand their feelings, and to respond with compassion. When you approach your partner with empathy, you create a deeper connection. You show them that you care not just about what they're saying, but about how they feel. Empathy allows you to navigate difficult times with grace and helps you build a relationship that is resilient and loving. One of the most challenging aspects of a relationship is maintaining your individuality while being part of a couple. It's easy to lose yourself in a relationship, especially when you love someone deeply. But maintaining your sense of self is crucial for the health of the relationship. When both partners have their own interests, hobbies, and friendships, they bring more to the relationship. They have more to share, more to talk about, and they maintain the sense of mystery and excitement that keeps desire alive. Reflecting on all of these experiences, the biggest lesson I've learned is that relationships are about genuine partnership. It's not enough to just be nice, ambitious, or dependable. A real connection involves ongoing effort from both sides, a shared commitment to building something meaningful together. It also requires a willingness to break away from ingrained instincts and societal expectations. Instead of just focusing on the big, exciting moments, it's the small, everyday acts of care that ultimately define the strength of a relationship. I also realize that uniqueness in a relationship comes from the pairing of qualities, from balancing ambition with fun, confidence with openness, closeness with mystery. These pairings are what make a person truly special, the kind of person others are afraid to lose. And lastly, love needs space to grow. By allowing both partners to maintain their individuality, you create the opportunity for desire to flourish alongside love. A great relationship is like building a castle together. It requires two dedicated builders. It's not always easy, and there will be times when the walls come down. But if both partners are willing to keep showing up, brick by brick, the castle you create will be uniquely yours, filled with hidden wonders and strengthened by the challenges you face together. The journey is what makes it worthwhile, and the effort you put in is what makes it last. At the end of the day, love is a choice. It's a choice to show up, to be present, to give your best, and to keep building even when it's hard. It's a choice to see the potential in your partner and in your relationship, and to do the work necessary to turn that potential into something real and lasting. Love is not just a feeling, it's an action. It's the small, consistent efforts that make a difference. The trash cans, not just Space Mountain. It's about being willing to put in the work, to grow individually and together, and to create something beautiful that stands the test of time.